Hello, I'm Christina, and today we're going to be talking about Blumine, the removed second movement from Mahler's First Symphony.
When Mahler's symphony first premiered, it consisted of 5 movements, instead of the 4 that you would hear in the modern setting. It was also described as a symphonic poem consisting of 2 parts, the first part being the first, second, and third movement, the second part being the fourth and fifth. The first part of the symphony is very happy and bright. Mahler described it as having connections to spring, daydreams, and even weddings. In the first movement, you hear lots of fast-moving instruments, trumpets. It gives off a very joyful, lively feel.
The third movement, which is actually the second in the modern setting, is more of a dance, and it actually contains the Landler, which is a traditional Austrian folk dance.
The second movement, called Andante or Blumine, has a very romantic feel to it. You hear that right at the beginning with the trumpets.
The original second movement of the symphony was called either Blumine or Andante, and it was removed after the third performance of the symphony. It's a little bit unknown as to why. Mahler had kind of mixed opinions on it. It was originally inspired by a woman called Johanna Richter. She was a soprano that he worked with, and he had become quite infatuated with her. It was named after her, Blumine, meaning goddess of flowers, and Mahler described it as a sentimentally impassioned love episode. It only took Mahler 2 days to write the movement, and he made little to no revision to it, and he had actually told one of his friends that he was very pleased with it. Apparently over the years his opinions changed, because he was later quoted saying it was too sentimental, he had become annoyed with it, and that may have been the reason behind removing it.
Mahler's last argument for removing the piece was that it wasn't too similar of a key to those of the neighboring pieces. That doesn't add up, though, because the first and third movements spend no significant amount of time in the key of C. A lot of people think it's just an excuse because he was getting a lot of criticism for the movement, and he just decided to take it out to avoid that criticism. Once he took it out, it also fit the classic form, like the classic symphonic structure, and that was something that people were very familiar with. People liked it more.
Mahler's decision to remove the movement carried into the publishing stage, and when it was published without the second movement. That's where we get the 4-movement Symphony No. 1 that we know today.